This is the voting results in the programs that were reviewed. In TK through 5, it was Go Math and Expressions. And then we have a program that the materials were developed by EngageNewYork.org, or Engage New York. And then those, it's an open source program, meaning that it's available on the web and anyone can download it and copy it. And then that is a publisher, Eureka Math, called Great Minds. They have purchased the publishing rights for it in English. And so we have Eureka Math for TK through 6 in English, and then the Engage New York materials are available in Spanish that can be reproduced. We have teachers that currently this year are using them, and they're in spiral-bound materials from CopyMath. And so that would be for the dual immersion and alternative program classrooms. 284 teachers voted in those grade spans, and you can see that roughly even amounts chose between Go Math and Expressions. Those are both Houghton Mifflin programs, and then 159 selected as their choice, Engage New York and Eureka Math. In 6th grade, there were 2 programs that were sent forward by the group, MathLinks and Engage New York Eureka Math, and that vote was 737 with 44 teachers there voting, for a total of 328 teachers participated in this. Other districts that I've talked to about this, MPUSD, King City, Santa Rita, they stopped at the committee that reviewed and just went with their reviews to the board. But I know that it's very important in our district at this time that teachers understand that they have a voice and their voice will be heard. Okay? So what it breaks down to graphically, if you look at it, is you can see that it was 56% of our teachers in TK through 5th were selected the Eureka Math, Engage New York, and then roughly 22% each were selecting Math Expressions for Go Math. And then in 6th grade, it was 84% to 66. And when you combine this then overall and you take all of the non-Engage New York materials versus the Engage New York materials, you can see that it's 60 to 40%. So it is a significant difference. And so I think we have clear indication of which direction our teachers would like us to go. I will say I did not publish this or put this out there. This came out mid-March. It's from an organization. It was published in Education Week, but it's from an organization called Ed Reports. It's a nonprofit. And they reviewed all of the publishers' materials out there. And if you look at that, you can see that the red bars indicate that the programs of those grade levels do not meet the criteria of being aligned to the Common Core. At certain grade levels, some of the programs got yellow bars, and then green was it met criteria for alignment to the Common Core. If you look, the only program that has a total complete alignment to the Common Core is Great Minds Eureka Math. Okay, you can see some of the programs, Go Math did have in 1st and 2nd and 4th through 5th, and then in 6th grade partially meets Common Core alignment. The Math Expressions, they found it partially met it in K through 2nd. My Math, which is our current program, partially met it in 1st and 2nd and was aligned in 4th and 5th, but our committee that reviewed the materials did not select them to send My Math on. So I think we can be very, like I said, we did not publish this, we did not send this out to sites, but I think our teachers are to be applauded for recognizing through the tools that it's a leap into Common Core, it's really tough, but they've chosen the tools. Right now, we will be doing it. Teachers are going to need a lot of support because this is not Common Core light. This is the real deal. And right now, one of the things that our teachers do get, this is the Eureka Great Minds website, and they have bi-weekly 1-hour grade level video series, a total of 18 hours per grade level of online tutorials and videos of classrooms that can be incorporated into job-embedded professional development. We are not talking about giving teachers homework to go watch this at home and learn to teach the program on their own. Eureka Math has an amazing series of materials available for parents on their website. Every grade level has a specific number of modules. You can see here, for example, in kindergarten, the first module is numbers to 10. You click on that and there's a link to samples of student work, activities to do with your students at home. It has really, really good resources. And this is Eureka Math. EngageNewYork.org has even more, many, many more. Now, how about the money? Where's the money? It's not a cheap program. I think a lot of people sort of thought, oh, it's going to all be copy math. But it's, as you can see, one of the costs of this program, of course, the Eureka Math, getting the bound ones for our TK through 6 at SEI is about, whoop, that's the other slide. How do I go backwards on this? There you go. Over $500,000, $500,000. The manipulatives, again, it is not a Common Core-like program. It is full-on Common Core. It's $262,000 for manipulatives. And then the Engage New York Spanish materials will be another $27,000. So the total cost for year one is $836,000. The manipulatives and all the teachers' editions are only, of course, 1-year costs. You don't have to keep replacing them. Okay? Can
I ask a question about this specific slide?
Yeah.
Does this include the costs of your professional development, or is this strictly materials?
It is
Strictly.
no. It does include
Well,
the online access, professional development.
But not the hours that you have to pay the teachers, because of course you pay them to train them in this new material you expect them to teach?
Well, we have various professional development plans that we're developing right now, but no, it does not include the professional development, the hourly rate of pay. If there's anything beyond the workday, they definitely would get hourly rate of pay. We do have plans for early August to have a 2-day Engage New York Math Institute, getting teachers into Module 1, working at grade levels, and so that is an invitational, and teachers will be compensated for that. Okay. Okay, well, and this quickly, because a lot of people want to know comparisons, these are the costs of the various programs. So just to point out to you, and the light isn't coming on, if we went with other programs, you can see that the cost for Go Math in just K through 5 was about $500,000. The cost for Expressions in K through 5 was about $1 million. And then we would have had to have added to that one of the 6th grade programs. And the math links, we would have had to put together the manipulatives. They don't have kits that you can purchase. We would have had to gone through and made lists and done our own ordering. Okay, question?
Are all these programs consumables? That's an important question. I mean, if I'm paying $1 million this year, I got to pay $1 million next year, and I got to pay $1 million next year. Or if I'm paying $1 million for 8 years.
Well, some of those are hardback. You're correct
Yeah.
for the Expressions, and that's one of the reasons why Expressions is so high. The Eureka Math, the student is consumable. You're correct. And so is Engage New York. Go Math and Expressions have some years that are hardback, so they wouldn't have been. But again, we never tried to sway teachers about money. It was about look at the program and select what is true to the Common Core. But I know that people have asked, I had a superintendent's advisory question. So if we go with Engage New York, what are we going to do with the money we save? So I don't think that's really there's not money to be saved here. That's it. Okay? Yes?
So my next question would be, what are the projected costs for each year? If you're talking year one, but
That
how
would
much of
depend on
this
student
cost would be-
enrollment, and so for the projected years after this, to be honest with you, they have, right now, they have all of them are offering initiatives that lower the cost, and so they're,
A lot of package
If
deals.
we
So-
had the same number of students, would it be 546?
the cost will be different next year. The per student cost, it's not necessarily static, because they're offering incentives, and I didn't price it out, okay? Yes?
Can I ask this question?
Sure.
Let's say we go with Engage New York because the majority of the people like it, but something else comes out in 2 or 3 years. Are we tied into a contract with the publishers, or can we stop anytime it becomes apparent that we need to do something else?
No, we don't have a contract. Some of the others, you can do that. You can do like 8-year programs that you buy that, and you are signing up. One of the good things about and advantages to Engage New York is that they update their programs and materials annually. And so when we
More
get
than that.
engaged,
More often than that,
okay,
Yeah.
and so the modules
right.
and new resources are being revised, where the other programs, those are definitely static.
My
But
comment
then
is
do we
because
have to purchase that every year again, all the updates?
The consumables, you get the updates online, like for the teacher's guides and stuff. You get supplements that are available, that if there are tweaks, I wouldn't say there's any major changes.
No.
There's addendums, modifications. One of the things that they've just come out recently that's actually very cool is that we know that in the first year, learning a new program takes a while. And we're going to have to look at our quote-unquote pacing, because it goes deeper, and we're going to have to slow things down. Well, Eureka Math and Engage New York have already developed first-year pacing guides so that you can get through the material, and they've gone through every module, and they've selected activities that they can recommend that you pull out to not bog down the program so you can cover the material.
Thank you very much. We're going to get down to the
Yes.
agenda, and we have one more question coming up, and that's
Sure.
it. Thank you.
I wanted to ask about combos, because I have a combo when I started the math grant, and I started with Engage New York, and the pacing of Engage New York does not work for combo. Like, and I've done this. This is my 8th year. I've done the combo before. There are some terrific, amazing things about Engage New York and the way it does get the kids to engage with the math in a really different way that some of the other ones don't. But it's not, we can't get through the one grade in a year, even if we're modifying and taking things out, because even the other 2 teachers who just have the straight 6, they've gone through the math grant and taken things out with the support of the math grant, and that's not feasible. So I don't, like, what are we going to be given as combo teachers, because we have a 5-6, a 4-5, down the line at our site, what are we going to get, because it's not manageable.
That is a very important question, and we will have to address it. I don't have the answer today. The selection rather, was occurred last Thursday. But of course, with any adoption, we'll go through the same thing with language arts. We're going to have to give special consideration to our combo teachers and what kind of support we can get them. It's a really, really very valid point. It's not just the teachers, but let's remember the students, because they're going to be going on to the next year, and we have to make sure that they have had equal access to the core curriculum in math or in language arts, and that somehow, because they're in a combo, they don't get a mishmash version of it. It's a good point. Okay, so, yes, Deanna.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions myself, and one had to do with consumables, because I do believe that that's huge. Is this cost including the consumables of Engage New York?
Yes.
For the first year? It does include it?
Yes.
Okay.
For the first year, right?
For the first year,
Yeah.
And all the teachers' materials, the non-consumables too. The manipulatives are a one-time cost unless they're lost or you add new classes. And then the teachers' editions will occasionally need to be replaced and augmented.
But the consumables has to be something that we always provide.
Yes.
So the teachers never have to make copies and do
No,
all
no, no,
of that.
no, no.
It's got to be, because I know Engage New York, there's a problem with that sometimes.
No, at the beginning of the year, we had many teachers that had decided to pilot it on their own. and they were making their own copies. But no, we will provide teachers with full sets of class student materials.
Manipulatives, staff development, because I've seen a million times where we get boxes of manipulatives and people don't use them. So will we have some kind of staff development for the manipulative portion?
Absolutely. I mean, and it's really critical. It's built into almost every lesson where there's some sort of manipulative use. And this is where, again, we are going to have to look very closely at the professional development plan. And we are proposing academic coaches specifically for next year to be focused on helping teachers with the implementation of Engage New York and Eureka Math. They're going to need it, and they deserve it, and so do our students.
How much money are we estimating that we're going to need for training as far as this budget is concerned? I mean, I think that's a crucial point.
If we use academic coaches, again, that's a cost of personnel. And what we are proposing is basically, at this point in time, 7.5 academic coaches, so that there would be one coach for two sites, partnering two middle-sized schools or a large or a small school, so that every coach had a 52, 56 teacher caseload, and that is assistance, professional development that teachers have available to them, demonstration lessons, co-teaching, observations, feedback from their first second of their workday to the end. And then we are now looking at and calculating doing a system of grade level sub-release time, so that those sub-release, the grade level teams can get together with the coach, and the coach facilitate their meetings on 6-week cycles. So in addition to having the coach inside their classroom, available as a resource, helping them out, providing resources, doing demonstrations of how to use the manipulatives, getting them out of the box, working with students, getting them into groups, having students with collaborative conversations, project-based learning. They also have an opportunity every 6 weeks on the site to be out of their classrooms with the coach, developing lessons and planning.
So virtually, we're approving not $836,000, but another $500,000. You said 7 teachers at $70,000 approximately. Is that true, Mrs. Willingham? I mean, is that what we look at? So it's about another $500,000. So
That would be
it's
professional development.
1.3 million for what we're
Mhm.
talking about.
Mhm.
And then the last, just my very last point, because I know it's getting late and we'll have to extend the meeting if we don't hurry, is I just would just like to ask that we really support the combo teachers, because it sounds like that's going to be a huge issue.
Mhm. Okay.
Any questions for the board? Questions, Mr.
We'll
Huff?
have to find or come up with money for storage for all this equipment, this new stuff, you know, the manipulative stuff.
Well, one of the things is that we'll be taking the old materials out of the classroom, and,
Well,
surveying the textbooks, and
Well,
sending them home with kids.
Yes, well, I'm sure some classrooms do not have storage facilities.
No. Well, if they don't, that's absolutely true. We'll have to solve that problem. Whether it's a centralized place on site, or if we hold back, if we find out from a principal that they believe that this is going to be a problem, we can hold the materials for the last module at Verona Meadows until the end of the year, or something like that. It's a problem to work on. Yes, it is. Okay.
Can I get a motion to extend another 15 minutes after?
I'd like to make a motion to extend to 10:15 in case we need it.
So I bring forth to you a recommendation that you approve the adoption for TK through 6 for Eureka Math in our structured English immersion classrooms, and Engage New York for Spanish materials for our dual immersion and alternative programs.
Move approval.
Approval. Need a second? Second. Mr. Kim, second. Okay. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0 as noted.
And now I'd like to make a motion to extend for 15 minutes if we need it.
I second in case we need it, yeah. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. 5-0 again. The next item is entitled information item, but I know down at the bottom it says, it's action down at the bottom, but the top says information.
It says two different things.
Yeah, but
All right.
we understand we corrected that title.
All right, thank
We
you.
corrected that title.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. I'm bringing back to you for action the job description for academic coach. And we had a great earlier discussion about the need for academic coaches. And what the board is doing tonight, hopefully doing tonight, is that you are approving this job description. You are not approving the number of positions that we might advertise, but you are just doing the first step of approving the